Andrew Birch. I was born in Northampton, here in the UK, and I had 3 brothers. I studied at university classics, and I became a Christian at the age of 11, and soon after that felt that God was calling me to some kind of ministry, and so I always had that in my mind as what I wanted to do. So at the moment, I've just literally yesterday become field director, having been mission director for 3 years and 4 months and a missionary before that. So at the moment, I'm now EMF field director. And so that really means looking after the missionaries, basically.
I'm married to this handsome man. My name is Vivienne, and I was born in Northern Ireland, although I haven't lived there for many years. Most of our life we've lived in Spain. And for most of my life I was a pastor's wife. Now no longer a pastor's wife, but I'm still trying to help my husband.
You're doing a good job at it.
What do I do at EMF? Well, I'm not sure that there's a really good job description. I try to help anybody who needs help. First of all, Andrew, of course. I don't know if I do that well or not, but I try to. And I try to help anybody in the team because we've got a wonderful staff team. So I try to give a hand if it's checking a translation or checking an article, or with the social media, or whatever they ask me to do.
Vivienne was the one that introduced me to EMF, and we ended up applying to become EMF missionaries, and we were EMF missionaries for 37 years in Spain. And then the trustees, EMF trustees, asked me to take on the role of mission director, which was totally out of the blue, and I fought against it for a while, but eventually I caved in. So so it's really been a 40-year-long relationship since we first applied to where we are today.
We both had learnt Spanish at school, French as well, but especially Spanish, I suppose. We started to pray for a church in Spain, which Andrew later became pastor of, actually. And that's how we developed an interest, really, in the EMF.
We got off to a difficult start in a church where there were problems, and we were learning Spanish, and I had to start preaching in Spanish before we had the chance to learn it properly. So it was kind of, we were thrown at the deep end, and we had 2 young boys at the beginning. So it was hard in terms of adapting to a new culture and the church situation and all the problems and learning Spanish and all the rest of it. But I think, once we got the language and we were more comfortable in Spanish, we got to know the situation better. I think after that, it's never been easy, but I think the hardest part was the early part, and then we gradually, got more settled.
EMF has always been a little family, and I think that's what we loved about it, and we still love the people who were in at the beginning with us, who are now our retired missionaries, from whom we learnt a lot, and now we love the new missionaries who are like the age of our children, a lot of them, but we're excited to be in EMF, and it's changed, but so has everything. We can't stay still. We're still the same EMF basically, but I think we're, as the new director is saying, we're looking to the future as well. So yeah.
How do you guys find working together?
I think the safest answer for me is to say that we complement each other quite well. In other words, we're really different. But having said that, having been together for so long, 44 years married, I think we get on well together. But we both have to be really patient with the other one. So Vivienne has to be more patient than I have to be, but I have to be a little bit patient with her as well at times. So I think we've learnt to make allowances for each other, be sensitive to each other. So I think I would say that certainly Vivienne complements my weaknesses. I see that in the mission, I see it at church. She thinks of things I never think of. I'm very kind of set on what I have to do, but then she thinks of all the other things as well. So I think, we're very different, but we complement each other, and we have the same vision really for the gospel. That's the important thing.
Yeah, Andrew's a very organised, meticulous person. I'm not. And I value spontaneity a lot of the time, and I really enjoy being spontaneous with people. And so yes, but I think we do complement each other. I hope we do anyway, and that's been important the whole of our life together, I think. Mm-hmm.
Bueno, vamos a hacer la lectura bíblica que corresponde a hoy, que es 1 de Samuel 16.
Tell us about Europe. Why are you passionate about mission in Europe?
Yeah, I think this was something that we discovered 40 years ago when, there was not a lot of talk in our circle of churches about Europe and mission in Europe. It was all about Africa and Asia and other parts of the world. And without taking anything away from the needs of the rest of the world, I think during our time at university and afterwards, we just began to realise how desperately needy of the gospel Europe was. If you were living in Spain or Greece or whatever, how easy would it be to find any kind of church that you could be happy in? And well, the answer is, well, not very easy at all. So I think it's just seeing the enormity of the task. And there's lots of secularism, there's lots of what I call distorted versions of Christianity, which doesn't really help people to understand, their need of the gospel. So, yeah, I think it's for all those reasons.
Yeah. I think it is an exciting time for the gospel in Europe, for mission in Europe. I know we can sometimes focus on some of the problems, the need and everything, but we have some wonderful new people, apart from the retired and the people who've been in the mission for a long time, who we absolutely adore. But we've got new people coming in with incredible gifting, incredible zeal, incredible focus.
Yeah, I think it's the sense of privilege of being with EMF, yes, but being in mission for these 40 years has been a privilege.
Anything can happen. Anything can always happen, but you're very conscious that your health may fail. You can't take anything for granted. Both of us have had and have health issues. We're not taking anything for granted. But while the Lord gives us strength, we still want to be as involved in supporting the work of the gospel in Europe, wherever it is and whatever that means.